All right. It seems like everyone is here, is pretty much here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Like we always do, we start in child's pose. So take your child's pose on your mat. And your child's pose doesn't have to have any specific shape, right? You set your hips back heavy towards your heels and you bring your forehead to rest on your mat. If you are someone like me that has to choose between hips and forehead, then the choice is forehead. If your arms are at your side or out in front of you, it really makes no difference at all. So in these first moments of class, take time to just notice your breath. This 60-minute moving meditation that we will share with each other from all around the country, the world even, is predicated on the breath. Let the breath be what tells you how far or how deep, or perhaps maybe even when to take your break. This will be the only time that I offer a child's pose, but that doesn't mean that it's not available to you anytime that you need it during the practice. As we work in this meditation to become acquainted with our breath and we sync that breath to the movement, why don't we start with a collective exhale, make an SH sound. And then as you empty yourself fully, breathe. Breathe with intention. Because you see, yoga without intention is just exercise. So let this breath fill you up. And as you exhale, let's share it. We make an HA sound, ha, bringing that vibration into your breath. From here, maybe we'll start to move a little bit. You know, in this practice, we do a lot of one breath, one movements, and perhaps we could even think of this as the first of those. As you start to rock and sway through your hips, roll your head forward and even back. You can let that vibration and that movement start to travel from your hips through your spine to your shoulders. Those of you with your arms at your side, you'll start to walk them out in front of you. And even for those of you whose arms are already outstretched, very deliberately and with intention, you start to press the pads of each of your finger digits down into your mat. Lifting up through your wrists and even clawing at your mat as you tuck your triceps forward so the front part of your elbow reaches more towards the front of whatever space you're in. Feel that length across both side bodies. Take another deliberate inhale and extended exhale. And then press your palms into your mat, including the webbing between your thumb and first finger, and send your hips high and heels low, breathing into your first downward facing. This may be the first time you've had a chance to move today, so go ahead and pedal out your hips, maybe take some hops. As you do so, kick your heels gently towards your hips and land softly. Coming back through center, take a look at your feet, and we want to make sure that that space is about the same width as your head, so the distance in between your big toe knuckles is about 2 fist widths. Looking forward towards your wrist, we're looking for about 6 to 8 inches. So what we want to do is line up your shoulder bones, not the fleshy parts or the big muscles on the outside. Soften your knees now and really root down through your hands. Instead of just the webbing between your thumb and first finger, press the webbing between all of your fingers. And then send your hips even higher with the intention of gluing your chest to your thighs. And then float your heels down. This will be your proper downward facing. Take an inhale and breathe your right leg up, keeping it parallel to your mat to start. Working on very specific points of engagement will flex those right toes back towards your face. Keep your right hip rotated down towards the floor and extend so much through your leg that you feel your quadricep, that's the muscle above your knee, really start to engage. On your next inhale, send your right leg up. Point your toe and breathe it up even higher. And when there is no more up and no more higher, then you float it across left side body. Taking a moment or two to roll through your hips and pedal out your toes. And then breathe that leg up one more time. Send it as far back and as far up before you exhale and float it gently and intentionally down to where you picked it up from. Switching sides, inhale your left leg up. Again, it's parallel to the floor. The hips stay in alignment. You can think about activating more through your right arm to keep you from collapsing into your left side body and really squeeze. Feel that activation. Inhale that leg up a little bit higher. Keep reaching up and reaching back. Exhale, float it across right side body. Roll your hip. Maybe even it's something just as subtle as wiggling out your toes, right? Maybe that could be a thing today. Taking another second to breathe it up and breathe it back. Feel that length and then exhale it down, downward facing. Now, as you inhale, you'll bend your knees and look towards the front of your mat. As you exhale, take a trip to the front. Find yourself in a forward fold. Again, working on your alignment. Make sure you haven't lost that 2 fist widths in between big toe knuckles. Keep the outside edge of your foot parallel to the outside edge of your mat. And just hang heavy. Bend your knees so that we can open into your lower spine. This isn't about your hamstrings just yet. Don't worry, we'll have time to get into that later. If you want to take a few rocks and a few sways, now is a good time. Now, pull your belly button in and inhale into a half lift. Think of this maybe as a baby back bend as you send your hips more back and chest more forward, and then rock the weight into your toes. Exhale, forward fold. As you inhale, roll yourself up deliberately, one vertebrae at a time, feeling that engagement of a belly button that's drawn so far back that it's not only touching your spine, but hidden behind your lungs. And then arms up, biceps by ears. Mountain pose. Root down through your heels. Feel the mounds behind your toes and your heels evenly pressed into the mat. Feel those muscles above your knees, your quadriceps squeeze and engage, but also feel your tailbone, top of butt tucked down towards bottom of butt. Belly button is still drawn in from when we came into this pose. The only thing left is to extend through your triceps and even your fingers, except you, my friend there with Tara, who looks like you're touching the ceiling. And reach out through your fingers. Exhale, make an SH sound, close your eyes. As you inhale, send your hips forward, back of heart lifts up, reach back, go back, fall back, and then exhale, forward fold. Take that again, inhale, as you roll yourself up intentionally, just go straight into that back bend, maybe finding an extra inch of length. And forward fold on your own. And then maybe stick with that. Let's take 30 seconds for you to breathe yourself first up and long and strong. And then exhale yourself down and forward. Breathe mobility into your spine. Breathe awareness into your body. Move as fast or as slow, and I'll encourage you all throughout this practice to close your eyes. Make this a more internal affair. You can remove things like judgment. You can get rid of things like competition. Let your body and your breath be your guide here. Wherever you're at, take one more cycle of breath and movement, and we'll meet back into that forward fold. Inhale into your half lift. Give your spine a little reset there. And then hands down to the mat. Step yourself back into your upper push-up plank. I will offer you now your first opportunity to show up for yourself this afternoon. So we'll stay here. We'll stay here for 60 seconds. We'll stay here until you start to shake. We'll stay here maybe until you start to sweat. And if you think about staying here for 60 seconds, I promise you, you will feel each one of those seconds. But if maybe you exaggerate your inhales and extend your exhales, if you focus on the fact of rooting down through your toes and drawing up through your thighs, tucking your tailbone and keeping that spine to belly button connection, then instead of 60 long seconds, it just becomes 4 or maybe 5 very manageable cycles of breath. Keep breathing and holding, and know that if you are shaking and it is getting challenging, then you are doing it correctly. Take an inhale to press into your mat, spreading shoulder blades wide across your back. And as you exhale, lower down halfway. Pause for a second before you send your chest first forward, and then inhale up into your upward facing. Pressing tops of feet actively into your mat and rotating shoulder blades into each other behind you. And then exhale your hips high, heels low, downward facing. From here, we'll reset with a breath, make an SH sound. Take a breath now that coats your throat and it lights you up. Know that you need it to prepare you for movement. And then exhale, HA. Ha. Inhale your right leg up. As you exhale, step it forward between your hands, root down through your left foot and arrive on your inhale in your warrior one. So if we want to work on alignment, let's toe heel that right foot over towards the right side of your mat. Then sit deeper than maybe even you want to, deeper than you thought it would even be suggested, into that thigh. Send your left hip and left shoulder more forward. Close your eyes. You're still standing on the same 2 feet that you stand on every day. If you could imagine drawing your 2 heels in towards each other like you want to scrunch your mat up in beneath you, and then pull that belly button in, exhale again, SH. On your inhale, reach up and reach back, make a back bend. Exhale your 2 hands down to your mat. Step your right leg back and take yourself through your flow. Breathing down through your chaturanga, and it's a big thirsty inhale into that upward facing before we release and let go with an exhale and downward facing. Inhale your left leg up. And then exhale, step it forward. You know where we're going. Meet me in warrior one. Keeping those eyes closed now and feeling for this thing, we call it proprioception. It just means that you can make adjustments without necessarily thinking about it or without needing to see or reference anything specifically. So again, the left foot will then move more towards the left edge of your mat so you can sit deeper. It gives you space now to send your right hip more forward and your shoulders will follow. Everything is active. Even your fingers are reaching up gloriously. Pull that belly button in and exhale. As you exhale, think about your body memorizing these engagements. Take your inhale to reach back, to look back, to reach back. And as you exhale, your hands down to your mat. Come into your upper push-up plank. Maybe take another inhale to really engage and press through those shoulders. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, downward facing. So we've come to this place in the practice where we'll take another one breath, one movement, and it's just warrior one on each side, and you take it however it suits you. Feel free to move as fast or as slow, to sit as deep. If the things I say sound very technical and they're all about alignment, let these moments be about feeling. You have permission to either be as technical or messy as it serves you and suits you. And the only thing that matters is that you are truly honoring whichever version of yourself has shown up on the mat today, and that it is your breath that is taking you through this. If I'm sitting here and I'm watching all of you and I'm not saying anything, it's not because anyone is necessarily doing anything bad or good. It's because there's nothing I can offer that will improve the situation. Those of you that are moving, keep moving. And those of you that have made it into your downward facing will unite with, again, that exhale sound, SH. Before igniting yourself with another breath, preparing for the next sequence of movement, and then sharing it, HA, ha. From here, inhale your right leg up and meet me back in the warrior one that I just saw each of you do so beautifully. Take an inhale here to think about those points of alignment and engagement. And as you exhale, peel open into your warrior two. So from here, your orientation will change a little bit. You will spread your heels farther apart. Maybe that outside edge of your left foot then becomes more parallel to the back edge of your mat. Reach your left arm a little bit towards the wall behind you and think about stacking your vertebrae from the base of your spine to the tip of your tailbone in one straight line. So lean back a little bit. Now, left arm raises up so it's in line and parallel with your right. And if your eyes are open, then your gaze travels straight down the back of your right arm. Exhale, SH. With your eyes closed, remember this place on these exhales. Take another inhale to stay. Maybe sit lower because you can. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down to your mat. Take yourself through another flow. Remembering your intention, remembering that sense of being deliberate. Now from this downward facing, you know where we're going. Breathe your left leg up, step it forward and through. Meet me in your warrior one. Take a moment in that warrior one with your eyes closed to remember the alignment, the purpose, the shape. Exhale, open it into your warrior two. Two heels in one line, and then sit lower. Now, if your eyes are closed, maybe take a peek down at your left knee. I want it so that you can only just see a sliver of your big toe sticking out just in front and just to the side of your knee. This will keep your knee stacked directly over your ankle. Sit lower than you want to. And remember that sensation of pulling your mat together beneath you, right? Like you're drawing your two heels in towards each other energetically so that you feel all of the muscles on your inner thighs light up. And then SH, let it go. Inhale, sit down. Sit lower, pull your belly button in deeper. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to your mat. Take yourself through your flow. And then you know the drill. It's one breath, one movement. It's between you and you. especially during these one breath, one movement sequences, to close your eyes and just feel more fully. So good. As I look around the room, I can feel it. It almost feels like we're all together. Even over these internet waves and miles of distance between us. We're still all connected in breath and movement at this time. We're still the same community that we were 4 or 5 weeks ago. And it just shows that we won't be denied. We found a way to find each other, even though we're not supposed to go anywhere. Those of you that have made it in your downward facing, exhale, make that SH sound, get empty. Fill yourself all the way up and full, and then share that breath, HA. You get extra points for doing downward facing with a 3-year-old on your shoulders, by the way. Go ahead. Now, inhale, bend your knees and look forward, and then you can step or hop yourself to the front of your mat, coming into your forward fold. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now, as you inhale, go ahead and sit down and sit back. Sweep your arms forward and up. Chair pose. Now, close your eyes. Let's see if we can work ourselves through these adjustments without seeing. So, do you feel as though your 2 feet are hip width apart? Are you in that same 2-fist alignment? Sit a little bit deeper than you want to and eject your arms, reach them forward. Now, send your tailbone back and chest more forward. Think of this as another opportunity to back bend. Exhale, SH. Inhale, sit lower. Sit lower than you want to. It's the last time in this set anyway. Exhale, forward fold. Give yourselves a little wiggle. Maybe pedal out your hips in this moment. Oh, puppies, I like it. Now, again, inhale, sit down, sit back, chair pose, and pick up from where you left off. On this one, we'll make it a little more interesting. Make sure that your belly button is drawn all the way back in to touch your spine, and then send your weight forward. Lift your heels high off of your mat. Find balance by rooting down through your big toe knuckles. So nice. Everyone, lift your heart. Lift your chin, Rick, look up, and then draw biceps back by ears. Sit a little bit lower. Exhale, SH. Stay, even though you don't want to, through this next inhale, and exhale into your forward fold. One more time, shake out those legs. And let's do it. Let's just get into it. Sit, inhale, sit down, sit back, arms up, chair pose. Okay, last time to have a little fun. Rock the weight so far back into your heels that your toes lift up from the mat. Keep that belly button drawn in for balance, and then rock the weight forward, lift your heels up. Sit down and sit back, and it's toes up. And then rock the weight forward and up, heels up. And then go on your own for the next 10 seconds. Toes up, heels up for 9. Toes up, heels up for 8. 7, sit lower than you want to. Come on, show up for yourselves for 3. It's the last 3 seconds. You can fight a doggone shark for 3 seconds. Ready? Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift as a reset. Exhale, your hands down to your mat. And take yourself once again through your flow as an opportunity to reset, recharge. Now we'll inhale that right leg up, exhale, step it forward and through. Go through your warrior one and warrior two and meet me there. I don't need to coach you. I don't need to talk about it. You know the breath cues, right? You inhale into your warrior one, you exhale into your warrior two, and then you sit down deeper and lower than you want to. Now, as you inhale here, reach as far forward towards the front of whichever room you can. Flip your right palm, and on your exhale, trace a line up the wall to the ceiling and then the wall behind you, coming into your reverse warrior. Take a look, take notice of that right knee. Has it started to collapse towards the midline of your body? Feel it, energetically pull open, let your hip engage. And then reach even your right arm more actively. So it's your whole right side body, each of those intercostal muscles in between each one of your ribs that's stretching. Inhale, reach back, go back. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to your mat. Take yourself through your flow. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step forward and through. Meet me in warrior two. You know where we're going with this. Don't miss a moment. So since you know we're going to warrior two, that doesn't mean just jump up and spread your legs and reach your arms out, right? Take those times. Think about your alignment in your warrior one. Close your eyes. Let your warrior two really sink in. Think about how those two heels are drawn in and your thighs are engaged in your core. Your belly button is hiding behind your lungs. And then reach yourself towards the front of the room. Reach even farther, flip your palm, trace your line, take your warrior three. I'm sorry, reverse warrior. Now you have options with that right arm. You can either take a half bind in which you reach all the way back and around for your left thigh, or you can stack it on top of your shin or your thigh, but don't put pressure in that back knee. First, reach up and then sit lower. Adjust the tracking of that knee. So my friend Rachel, move your oh, never mind. You're good. Keep your flow going. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Take yourself through your flow. Hi there, lady. Yeah, you, young lady. I'm waving at you. And then it's a one breath, one movement. Take yourself through that warrior one, warrior two, reverse warrior. Rachel, what I was going to say earlier is when you come into your warrior three, or I'm sorry, your reverse warrior, keep that alignment of your knee. It kind of caved in a little bit, very common, very natural thing to do. You just have to be aware. So nice. Keep breathing and flowing. Moving so that it best suits you. Like I said before, this is a moving meditation. Focus on the breath. Yeah, nice adjustment, Rachel. I saw that. It's good. Those of you that are moving, keep moving. I can't think of anything better for you to be doing right now. Those of you that have made it into your downward facing exhale, make an SH sound. Shh. And then fill yourself in through your lungs. Feel the length in the breath on both side bodies. Let it linger and swirl and share it. H-A. Ha. Inhale your right leg up. And this time, as you step it forward and through, rooting down through your left heel, just like the warrior one, instead come into your power lunge. So power lunge, 2 words, right? Power and lunge, pretty basic. I think that means you better sit lower into your lunge. And then be powerful, right? Keep your left heel rooted down into your mat. Reach your arms back behind you, drawing shoulder blades in towards each other, and even fingers are active and reaching strong. Interlace your fingers into the small of your back and take an inhale. Really press up, maybe even do a bit of a back bend as you reach back. Exhale, draw your arms forward, biceps by ears. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Take an inhale to set yourself up. Think about that alignment. And then as you exhale, you bring your right hand down inside the line of your right foot for a side angle. Now, what happens when we do these side angles and these revolved side angles? The hip to which side that we're rotating has a tendency to kind of sass out. So make sure that you're pulling your right hip more in towards the midline of your body, and then reach your left arm forward, bicep by ears. Exhale SH in preparation, because a whole bunch of you know what's coming next. And then as you inhale, reach your right arm by your ears as well, side angle. Okay, now everyone sit down lower, even if it's just today. Tomorrow you don't have to sit down lower. I'll send an email to the teacher. But today, sit deeper into that right thigh. Turn your right shoulder more towards the wall, and then exhale, let it go. Bring your left hand down inside your right foot. Send your right arm up towards the ceiling, revolve side angle. Remember to pull that hip in towards the midline of your body, activating inner thighs and the outside of your left hip. Float your left hand down to the floor. Put it in between your hand and your foot. So if you look left to right, you'll see a hand and then a foot. Now, take your right arm and reach underneath your thigh and come around, stacking your wrist on top of your ankle for your ankle bind. If you need to look, you can see Alina here. You want to bury that right shoulder behind your thigh. Let your head hang heavy. And if it's the difference between you doing this pose and not doing this pose, then bring your left knee down to the floor. Okay, that's enough of that. Go ahead and unwind yourself, but plant your right hand down inside your right foot. Open up into that side angle again. It's just a few more seconds. Stay strong. I know. Reach that left arm back and around, and then take your right arm underneath your thigh, perhaps completing your bind. Maybe just bring it on top of your thigh. Think about peeling open your left shoulder. Now bring your chin to your shoulder. Have your gaze find the ceiling. Take one more full inhale to stay. And then exhale your 2 hands down to your mat. Take yourself through your flow. Okay, left side. Second one's always easier because you know where we're going already, right? Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step it forward and through. Come into that power lunge. Feel rooted down through your right heel. Feel how that line of energy draws itself all the way up through your hip. Turning your right hip more forward, drawing back through shoulders and being active. Take your belly away from your thighs. Now, interlace your fingers into the small of your back. Arch your heart. Open your front side body all the way up. Exhale, release your grip. Float your arms forward. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. You have that same offering of an inhale at this moment to think about your alignment and your engagement before now exhaling, left hand down, inside left foot, opening up into your side angle. Right arm then floats forward, bicep by ears, extended side angle. And we'll make an SH sound as we prepare. Inhale your left arm up. Yeah, core strengthener. Pull that belly button in and up. Zane, turn that left shoulder more towards Gloria there. Yeah, good. Now sit a little bit deeper, brother. Sit down. Oh, I like it. Take another inhale to let it really sink in. And then exhale your right hip down to your mat. Open up into your revolve side angle. And think about pulling your belly button and outside left hip in towards the center line. Let the twist happen in your spine and not that more mobile shoulder. And then float your hand down to your mat, looking left from right. You'll see a foot and then a hand and then another hand. And then take your left arm, reach underneath your thigh, wrap it around clockwise so your wrist stacks on top of ankle. Bring right hand to join it. And like I said before, if you have to drop down onto that right knee, then you do it. But if you don't have to, then there's no reason to do it. Lift your hips up higher and relax down through your head. And then unwind yourself. Sit deeper into that lunge as you bring your left hand down into your floor, opening back up into your side angle. Last few seconds here to show up for yourself. Reach that right arm back and around. And either complete your bind or don't. But use your left arm as leverage. So either as balance or as an actual anchor point so that you can really start to open up that right shoulder. And in the last moments, your chin finds your shoulder. Your gaze is either at the ceiling or at nothing because your eyes are closed. And let's go ahead and release it. Unwind yourself. Bring your two hands down to your mat. Step your left leg back. Take yourself through your flow. Christian. Exhale with an SH sound to reset yourself. Take a full and intentional inhale. And then share the breath, HA. Now, inhale your right leg up. I'm sorry. On your inhale, bend your knees and then come to standing at the front of your mat again. Hang heavy in your forward fold. This time, toe heel your feet in towards each other until ankles, toes, knees, thighs, everything touches and squeezes together actively. Inhale, sit down and sit back and find that chair pose that we found before. But this time, as you reach your arms forward, bring your palms to touch and thumbs cross. We'll call this one a thunderbolt. Draw your hands down to heart center. Take an inhale and again, rock that weight forward into your toes. Lift your heels up high and sit your butt down and sit back a little bit lower. Here's something interesting. Press your palms into each other more actively, and that will actually help stabilize you so you can lift your heels up a little bit higher. Funny how that works, right? Take one more inhale, puff up your chest. Exhale, forward fold. Now, inhale, sweep your arms up. Palms touch, thumbs cross. Sit down and sit back, thunderbolt. Exhale, slide your palms down to heart center. Take an inhale to puff up your chest, and as you exhale, twist yourself over towards the right side of your room. Hook your left arm onto your right thigh, and then I know you're supposed to have your eyes closed, but take a look down at your knees. Make sure that your knees and your ankles are both in line. So maybe send your right hip more forward before flying away, taking your bind. Take one more inhale here. Wherever you're at, bring your palms to touch. Come back into heart center, but stay low, stay deep. We'll be on the floor soon. Not yet, but soon. Now inhale, sit lower, lift your chest a little higher, and then go to the left side of your room. Take that same twist. Before opening up and going any farther, check your alignment. So maybe you needed your eyes to do that in the first set, but in the second one, you can feel for it more. Open up, fly away, reach back, take your bind. Take another inhale here to twist yourself a little more. As you exhale, bring your palms to touch. Breathe back into heart center. As you inhale, reach up, stand up. Take your arms back behind you. Go back, fall back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down to your mat. Step or hop back into your upper push-up plank. Everyone's looking up at their computer like you think I forgot to say something. No, 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 no. We're holding this plank. Keep those hips lifted. Keep that belly button tucked in, drawn in. So if you think about it, the first time that we did this, right, it was very early in the practice and maybe it was more difficult. But at this point, you've had these last 40 minutes or so to think about your alignment, to think about your engagement, and to become more acquainted with your breath. So now, even after all of that effort, it's probably maybe easier to hold this space. I could also be full of shit and making things up. Who knows? 10 more seconds here for you to breathe. Take a full inhale, press your mat away actively, spread shoulder blades wide, exhale, lower down. Take yourself through your flow. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step it forward and through. Keep lifted through your left heel. Breathe up into your high crescent lunge. Yeah, so your arms, right, from your hips up, it's just mountain pose. It's just warrior one. We've been doing that for the last 43 minutes. Now, bring your left knee down until it just kisses your mat. Stay deep in your right thigh as you now work to extend your left leg straight out behind you. So your toes may have to wiggle back a little bit. Sit a little bit deeper. Bring your palms to touch, thumbs crossed in prayer, and then slide them down to heart center. Stay deep. Go. Get back down. Now take your inhale to lift up. Exhale, twist open towards the right side of the room. Remembering that sensation of keeping your body drawn in towards the midline, go ahead and fly away or take your bind, whatever suits you. Maybe just stay with your two palms pressed into each other so that you get more leverage from your left arm to open your right shoulder up. The last inhale here before you unwind yourself on the exhale, bringing your palms to touch and heart center. Check in with yourself. Take another inhale now. Separate your arms and reach up and reach back and go back. And then exhale, hands down to your mat. Take yourself through your flow. Inhale your left leg up. And meet me in your high crescent lunge. Close your eyes. Root down through your left or your right big toe knuckles, right? Pull that belly button in for stability and then float that right knee down. Bring it to touch your mat. Keep your left thigh where it is and send your right heel back. Draw palms into heart center. Take an inhale to puff up your chest. Exhale, twist yourself over to the left side of your room. Are you active through your hips? Can you feel your right thigh, the muscles above your right knee, quadriceps squeezing and engaging? If so, then fly away or bob. If you close your eyes, will you lose your balance? Can you look up towards the ceiling, or if your eyes are closed, just turn your chin to your shoulder? Take one more inhale here. And then unwind yourself. Bring your palms back to heart center. Inhale, reach up, look back, go back. Exhale your hands down to your mat and take yourself through your flow. Inhale your right leg up, and then as you exhale this time, you'll step it across your right foot towards the left side of your mat, aligning your shin with the top edge, and you'll come into your half pigeon. Time to slow things down here. So be swift in making your preliminary adjustments. Those of you that have tight ankles or hips, or if you have trouble bringing that shin to a more parallel shape in front of your mat, then I offered flip over into your figure 4. It's the same pose, it stretches the same area. But whichever version you take and whichever adjustment you need to make by maybe bringing your left hip more out directly behind you, make those adjustments quickly and then do nothing. See, this is your first opportunity to experience a pose in this practice anyway that happens when nothing is happening. So if the point of the asana is that we exhaust our body so that we come to a place where our thoughts are more accessible, then ask yourself, do you need to fix or fidget? I would say that your bodies all look pretty tired at this point. So maybe that urge to fix your shirt or correct your hair probably has something more to do with racing thoughts than an actual need to adjust. Exhale, make an SH sound, get empty. And then take a big, full, intentional inhale. Take a breath that you can then share and make an HM. Let this M vibrate in that space behind your eyeballs. Let that vibration travel down through your spine and even your hips start to feel it. Exit the pose with purpose. As you inhale, first lift your chin. Have your chest and heart follow your chin and walk your 2 arms out to the side behind you. Sit a little bit deeper. Just take another breath here. Plant your 2 hands down into your mat. Step your right leg back. And if you'd like to take yourself through a flow, take yourself through a flow. If you want to go straight into your downward facing, do that. If you want to just switch your legs and take your pigeon on the left side, then do that as well. Yogi's choice. But again, once you've made your decision, stick with it. Take yourself through that flow or step yourself straight into your pose. Make your preliminary adjustments, get there, and then stay there. Come to a place where you can focus more fully on the nothing. So if you're tight and tense through your shoulders and maybe your head feels heavy, relax. Bring it to rest on your mat, and if that's not an option, bring your mat to your forehead by stacking your 2 fists on top of each other. Those of you that are on your back in that figure of 4 position, flex your left toes actively back towards your knee. And then energetically move your knee away from your shoulder, pressing it towards the front of whatever room. Nice adjustments there. Connect back to your breath. Let this pose happen as a result of nothing happening. And if your dog is trying to eat your foot, then that could be your whole yoga practice for the day, staying calm through that. Exhale, make that SH sound. Feel yourself. Intention and purpose, integrity. Share the breath. HM. Inhale first, your chin. Chest follows, walking both hands to either side. Take an opportunity to sit a little bit deeper. Step back into your upper push-up plank. Take an inhale to press your mat away. And as you exhale, lower yourself down onto your belly. Don't move yet. Go back up. Everybody go back up. We're going to take a count of 5. We're going to do it all together. Ready? For 5. For 4. 3. 2. 1. You're there. You're resting in this belly savasana. So your left ear is on your mat. Your arms are at your side. Your toes touch. Your heels float softly away. Now, bring your chin forward. And if you have room, reach your arms out in front of you, long and strong. If not, you can interlace your fingers into the small of your back. Exhale, make an SH sound, get empty. And as you inhale, lift everything up, chin up, chest up, thighs up, look up, go up, float on your belly. Superhuman. Exhale, lower down. Come back into that belly savasana. Now, bring your chin forward and bring your 2 heels in towards your hips. Reach back and collect your feet from the outside edge, setting up for a floor bow. Again, exhale, get empty. As you start with your knees touching and shoulder blades into each other. Once you're empty, inhale, lift up, and again, float on that soft part of your belly. It's just beneath your ribs and just above your hips. Keep kicking. Lift your chest and chin will follow chest as you gaze up towards the ceiling in this last breath and opportunity before exhaling and lowering yourself down. Bring your 2 arms into your side, press yourself up and away from your mat, and we'll come into a camel pose. So the traditional setup is 2 fist widths in between your knees. Maybe even spread them out a little bit farther. And if you do so, then bring your toes in towards each other so your base is more triangle shape. Hands into the small of your back. And then inhale, lift up. Lift the back of your heart more towards the front of your room. Send your hips more forward and drop your chin out behind you. And just like that, you're already in camel pose. If your eyes are open and you see maybe the wall behind you and perhaps even the floor where the wall and the floor meet, then release your hands down onto your ankles with your fingers on the inside, your thumbs on the outside. Press your arms actively into your heels. Use them like tripod stands so that you can force your shoulders even closer together. Take one more inhale here. And as you exhale, go ahead and unwind yourself, sit yourself, hips heavy on heels. Flip your palms so the top of your hands are resting on your thighs. Close your eyes and let this pose land in that nothingness. Just breathe. You know, in camel, sometimes emotions come up. If you're in sort of a bad mood, you may feel angry. It may make you laugh hysterically or start crying. And just know that if any of those feelings have come up in you, then you've done it right. You win yoga today. Flutter your eyes open, shift your weight over onto one hip, and extend your legs out in front of you. Maybe move that fleshy part out from beneath your sits bones. Draw your arms up long, biceps by ears, and then exhale yourself into a forward fold. Lots of different versions here. You can wrap maybe your fingers around your big toes or reach all the way over your foot. Think about getting your pinky toes more back towards your face. So if that means you have to bend your knees some, then go ahead. And then use your biceps actively to draw a little extra length out of your lower spine, out of your hamstrings. Exhale, SH. As you inhale, release this, and then just come to lying on your back. You guys are lucky. I said too many words earlier, so we're going to have to skip the core strengthener, but just know that we're going to do double the core stuff next time. So we'll seal our practice today with a shoulder stand and a plow, like we do so often at Yoga to the People. If you're going into your shoulder stand, then go ahead and do half a backward somersault. Kick your legs up over your head. Walk your two shoulders in towards each other and hands into the small of your back like kickstands. You're also welcome to stay in this Savasana. Bring your knees to touch, thighs touch, ankles, knees, and hips stack directly over shoulders. Reach up, get a little longer. And when you decide you're ready, you float your toes back behind you. Maybe they find the floor, maybe they don't. Maybe you soften through your knees and bring them to either side of your ears for a deaf man. You can extend your arms long behind you or keep them for support in your smaller back. Take 1 second to make sure that you have become comfortably uncomfortable. And once you've made that association, you're ready. Exit the pose with that same attention to detail and intention that you've had all throughout this beautiful class, and come into your final Savasana. Set yourself up. Spread your legs as wide and as far apart as you like. Do the same with your arms. The only thing, tuck your chin very slightly in towards your chest with this idea of getting your whole spine from the bottom of your skull to the tip of your tailbone, more or less flat on your mat. Go back to your breath, right? That breath that we started the practice with that maybe we lost control of, or maybe we strayed from that relationship we had developed while we were twisting and lunging and back bending and all of those things. Come back to it. Thank you all so much for coming to practice today and for being a part of our community. Yoga to the People is always and will always be a community-based, donation-supported studio or Zoom meeting. $12 is a suggested donation, but please don't let that be a barrier for your attendance. It's not the floor, it's not the ceiling. It's a number that allows us to make this practice accessible to anyone who's welcome to come anytime that we offer class and share space on the mat. If you don't have any money, don't worry about it. You have a voice, maybe invite your friends and help us grow this thing. See, Cesar Chavez says, we cannot seek achievement for ourselves and forget about progress and prosperity for our community. Our ambitions must be broad enough to include the aspirations and needs of others for the sakes of our own. We have to watch out for each other, basically. So one more time as this group, please exhale, empty yourself, make an SH sound. And then fill yourself up, light yourself up, take a full and intentional breath in. Exhale, let it go, HA. Coming out of the Savasana, start by just wiggling your toes. Then maybe your fingers. Then you can start to rock your feet, your wrists. Let that sway make its way through your hips. And then roll yourself over onto your right side as you draw your knees in towards your chest. Plant down through your arm and press yourself up. Welcome back. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves today. Thank you all so much for coming to practice. Did I forget anything? Thank you so much.